Good afternoon, everybody. There's a live look here at Laurel Park on a hazy Friday afternoon here, August 2nd. We are into August already. Glad to have you here today at the races. I'm Keith Houston. I'll be flying solo today. It'll be a hot day, 91 degrees, heading up to the mid-90s, fast and firm for our track conditions. We're going to have extra staff, extra vets here today, extra helpers, hosing off the horse. So a whole total team effort to get you this Friday card. We're really coming off of a good weekend last weekend, especially on Sunday. Stakes action, we're up 85% from our handle standpoint from a comparative date last year. So thanks for everybody for joining along and betting the Laurel card. Big day for Ned Allard. Veteran trainer came in and really his horses look great. Dean delivers. Go ahead and taking the DeFrancis Dash with a 98 buyer. Sunny Breeze, the concern stakes for 3-year-olds, a really impressive effort. Gotten that duel around the turn with Celtic Contender to hold on late over a long shot, Willie D's. Other winners, Frosted Departure, big effort from the McPeak shipper. Got a little bit of an assist. Ain't the Beer Cold, a little awkward beginning. Frosted Departure was able to dictate, widen with a strong buyer of 98 for that route. And Apple Picker, who can forget Brittany Russell still on a tear, won the Almanor Stakes with a big run, patiently handled by Sheldon Russell, worked outward, kind of found a seam in between horses that last eighth of a mile and really kicked away nicely, liked the 6.5 and liked coming back to Laurel Park. That's a look at last Sunday's card. Looking ahead, this Sunday, stakes action here at Laurel Park again. 3 stakes totaling $300,000 in purses. Let's take a look at those. I believe we've got the Searching, the Caesar's Wish, and the Bald Eagle Derby. Another big day, stakes day on tap. Hope you can join us Sunday. Let's get looking right ahead now. We're going to roll through this Friday card. Again, warm, horses going right to the gate, out of the paddock to the gate. Post times, we quicken things up a little bit. I think our last post is about 4:05 for race 9, so get your wagers in early. I know Mackenzie Pfeiffer will be here a little bit later through the afternoon, going to keep you apprised of anything, any late changes. But let's take a look at this card. Kicking it off in the opener, 2-year-olds on the turf. We like that. It's always a good challenge. You go look at the breeding, look at the trainer, see who's had some success. In the opener, there's lots of ways to go. It kicks off the early pick 5 as well. Don't forget about that. Early and late, low 12% takeout. Take advantage of the pick 5 here at Laurel Park. But I go to the inside. Grand Motion only does his win right now in Maryland. It's going to have to buck a little bit of a trend, though. With these first-time starters, the 2-year-olds on the turf, the last 3 years, I got 5 for 65. This one might just buck the trend, though. Really well-bred, more than ready. It's a stallion that just wins on any surface, can win early, get you a really good runner, short, long, it doesn't matter. Bottom side out of Emma Spencer. That makes this one a half to Najarok. You're familiar with this one, running around here in Maryland. This mare's had 2 runners, both hit the board first time out. And Najarok, who won the Jimmy Murphy last year at Pimlico on that turf course, going a little bit longer, also won going short, won at 6 furlongs. And I like the steady line of works here for Rodina. Might get it done first time out here for Grand Motion. Let's go to the outside as well. Take a look at the 9. Milan Milosevic, no stranger to winning a turf race. Doesn't run a whole lot of first-time starters, but I'm kind of looking at the works for this 2-year-old filly by the Factor. Looks like she's kind of blazing around the main track at Pimlico. Look at some of those works, a half in 48 and 2, most recently 3/8 and 35 and 1, a couple bullets smattering around there. Second Dam broke the maiden going long, but I think this one by the Factor certainly can get you a speed horse and get you a horse to win early. 14% is the Factor with the turf sprinters. I think this one might be ready. Draws outside. Albert takes this one. A couple scratches in the opener. The other Milosevic scratched the 6 Radiant Tones and take out the 7 Complexity Jane. Let's take a look at the 3 Social Love. Social Love here for Jamie Ness, a firster by Social Inclusion. Has done very well with the two-year-old first-time starters. Turf, a little questionable there. 16% though with the firsters, and this is a move that Ness doesn't do a lot of. Firsters on the grass. The last couple years, look at this sample. 7 horses, but he's got 2 wins, 4 for 7 in the money with an ROI hedging over $3. I do like that. Got a Brazil, got some experience here. The 2-horse for Brittany Russell up at Delaware. That race was taken off the turf. They wanted it. The 8, Impetus Echo. Here's a trainer, George Weaver, coming down from New York. Should draw a lot of play. Unfortunately, the Weaver horse is at Laurel the last few years. He's only 2 for 28. Going to take play, I think, early, not so much. This horse should come down by acclamation. Kind of light with the stats on the first-time starters, but the breeding is certainly there. Bottom side, mare to a couple black-type runners. So pay attention. I'm going to try to, use that one a little bit underneath. I'll key around Rodina, the 1, and the 9, Diane Lee, in today's opener. The 2-year-old fillies, it's good to see the 2-year-olds here on the turf at Laurel Park. Let's turn to race 2. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4. I've got a ticket. Very manageable ticket for the early pick 4 of $20. Too deep to get you started with the 1 and the 6. Island Delight. And I think a slew of play is going to come in on this 6-horse Ego Man. 7-5, and rightly so on the morning line. Let's turn to race 3, second leg of the pick 4, early pick 4. Let's go 3 and 5. Mr. Hustle for Ness. Didn't have a chance after that trouble beginning, going short against some really fast horses. Also going to throw in the 5, Eldest Son. Ness off to Nolan Ramsey. J-Rod ends up here. 2 deep in the 4th with the 4 and the 6. Lottie Dino, Bonds Bell are going to take plenty of action. This race 5 is a spread race. I think the opener is a spread. We got like maybe 2, 3, 4 races today. I think you're going to have to spread around in your multi-race wagers. This one for sure. 1, 3, 4, 5, 9. I could make a case for almost everybody in here. A couple of these horses coming off of troubled trips. I'll leave it at that. $20. We can do that one to get the weekend started at Laurel Park. Race 2. Here we go. 5.5 furlongs. I'm going to try to beat the favorite with the 1, Island Delight for Thomas McMahon. Let's go to the video spotlight machine. Its most recent race at 30-1, nearly 31-1 on July the 13th. We're not going to get that today, nowhere even close. And, man, a little bit of a protect move. This one jumped off a subpar kind of effort. A little bit of trouble there at Charlestown. And hooks Baracho. Now, the internals, not super blazing. 23-1, 46-2. But we know Baracho for Ness was 2-5 this day. He's won like 10, 11 races. A real salty veteran. I love the way Island Delight didn't phase him one bit, being urged along inside of rivals around the turn. He works outward, really game to the wire. He is 2 for 4 at this distance. In a race that, I think the main speed might be just to his outside in Bandit's Heart for John Robb. Ego Man can get put into contention, no doubt about it. But look for Island Delight to get a forward trip. We've got a stat for this trainer as well. Thomas McMahon doesn't run a lot of horses, but a very capable horseman. I like this little stat that we dug up the last 3 years on the dirt. 4 for 16, 25%, 8 for 16 in the money. Coming off of a top buyer figure. 270 ROI. Island Delight, possible upsetter here. Ego Man, I think definitely going to be thrust into the race early. Does some chasing. Might even get the lead if Bandit's Heart doesn't quite come out super sharp. I think Bandit's Heart, though, is a sneaky, improving type for Jerry Robb. This 2-horse going on the go back, first time gelding angle, was able to kind of sit off of the speed of Landon Jack and get it done when winning at Timonium last summer. 1-6-4-2 for me in race 2. Don't leave out Captain Cardo underneath. Very good barn. Mike Juralis off the claim, gave a little bit of a break, turning back in distance. With 5.5, though, that might be just a little bit of a tough ask for Captain Cardo. He's got the figures. He's going to need a setup up top. Going to need things contested, I believe, but he will rally into it in today's second. Let's take a look at today's third. Got a good race here in race 3. 2 other than optional allowance. Got to like this group. Interesting, though, when I went through the field today, the most any of these horses have won on the turf is 2 races. And you kind of see a race like this. You see some horses winning 5, 6 races on the grass, working through conditions. Not so with this field, but at 1.16 miles, we're going to be on the Fort Marcy turf course for this one. 87 feet, the rail out 87 feet in race number 3. Let's take a look at the video. Race 5, my top selection, Eldest Son. Nolan Ramsey can pretty much do no wrong here in Maryland. This young trainer is young. He's not super young, but, is off to a great start. on his solo career. This one bottled up, though, around the turn, gets bounced around. Hard spun raising the 5, was able to work out or gave him a little kiss and then a little nudge past the quarter pole and a little bit tight. And then he's kind of held up in behind horses here past the 3/16 pole. Eldest son regroups a little bit. I think he churns on quite willingly through the last 16th of a mile. He's been scratched twice since, once a vet scratch. Might have been back a little bit quick, and then a trainer scratch out of the Prince George's County. But look for Eldest Son to be close enough. There's a little bit of speed, not a slew of speed in here in race number 3. But Eldest Son, I think, to kick first off the claim for this barn, doing very good work, can kind of move in and grind things out through the last 3/16 of a mile. Let's take a look at the 3-2 for Ness, Mr. Hustle. We talked about the trouble beginning. Pinch back, Jean Valjean, no shot. That was a real fast group of sprinters. Interesting move on that turn back as part of the entry. I think this horse has the ability to kind of go or sit just off the pace if need be. His numbers stack up on the turf course. Goodbye Note looks like the other horse to go forward in here. We don't really know how good Goodbye Note is. He worked like fashion last time. A little kiss out of the gate, was able to clear and dictate, but repelled a challenge of a good horse, a horse Stellar Lute that's come back to run well. Blame the Tux came back to run an improved number next time out and win. Goodbye Note, I think, will be into the race early with Torrealba. Those two, Mr. Hustle, Goodbye Note, if things kind of get relaxed up front, don't think that they can't carry their little battle a long, long way here in race number 3. But I'm going to look for Eldest Son to make that move from off the pace. Crisper, great effort last time, got help. Storm the Court, this 2-horse. This is a graded stakes horse on the go back. I like the change of style. Third off the bench for Lacey Gaudet. Inside out trip is going to work for Storm the Court. Don't leave this one out of your exactas. 5-3-2-7, race 3. Turning to the 4th, middle pick 4 action gets you started in the 4th. Also the Rainbow pick 6, a little carryover there, 6,554 to go after. I like that. I might play a little ticket here today. I think I can work something out. But the 4th race, we've got one scratch the 3, Sweet Honey Bee. These are maiden claimers, 20 down to 16. The Maryland breds can go in for 25. 6 furlongs on the main track. Video spotlight time again. We've got a heavy favorite in here in the 4, Lottie Dino for Brittany Russell. But Jamie Ness comes at you with a second-time starter that did not have the easiest of trips at Parks. In debut, bounced around both sides out of the gate. We're going to see the gray here. And then watch that first 50, 60 yards. A little squeeze-a-rama. And then this guy, she was taking like 5 deep soon after. And kind of really showed a good little run to get into contention. Now, the speed was very strong here on the 17th of July at Parks. Insides ran 1-2. You know, the 2-horse came off the inside to make that run. But look at this charge, switching leads here late, past the 16th pole inside the 8th pole, I should say. And I thought it was a willing finish against the grain of the racetrack. Blinkers on, a little more focus. Lottie Dino kind of on the worst part of the racetrack at Delaware, dropping here. This Russell horse is probably going to be in the range. 6-5 with the scratch. I think in that 3-5, 4-5 range when it's all said and done. Let's hope we can get a clean break for Bonds Bell. Go ahead and prompt and try to wear that one down. But you're looking at Lottie Dino. That last race, June 27th, I think also produced a winner, 4th place winner. She sure came back to win clear last Saturday at Delaware, the 58. So numbers-wise and everything, just at first glance, it looks like Russell. We try to get a little bit of better of a price here with Bonds Bell. Stormy Irish Lass. Eubanks Barn, we know what they do. Horses are just running. It's an improving sort. Buyer figures up and up, 22, 33, 43. Interesting to see her a little bit closer last time. I don't think she's quite got the speed to go with Lottie Dino, but certainly capable with Barbosa to kind of sit a stalking trip in here. Stranger, the 7, Margaret P. They wanted Boyce probably down the road. You've got Alvello. Second dam, really good dirt. Krasecki, we've seen that one run around here. Ferris Allen, $322,000 earner was that mare. I think the dirt just might wake up the 7, Margaret P. at a little bit of a price. Let's go to race 5. Race 5 going to kick off the late pick 5 once again with that very, very low takeout. Scratch the 2, the main track only. Grammy Girl is out. Scratch the 12, Mary Catherine. That leaves us with a field of 10, and it's, again, this is another spread race. You saw in my early pick 4 ticket, I used a lot of horses. I think you're going to have to go that way. Really difficult to peg it down to 2 or 3. Let's go. No, we'll talk about a little value shot first, and then we'll get to the video. But she's all at Twitter coming in for trainer Bobby Hawthorne from Parks. I know she didn't beat a whole lot last time out at Parks, but it was the way in this turf debut, second Lasix, second off the break that I really like. The horse relaxed. We've got the jockey coming along, and she really was not asked till about the 3/16 pole. Really didn't get a duel up front, sat about 5-6 out of it, leaving the 3/8, but really ramped it up. And when the real running began at the 8th pole, this filly responded, and that's a 2-turn race at 7.5 at Parks. I think she's all at Twitter, has every right as a lightly raced 3-year-old to take the next step up at a big, big number. Realistic course, the one, Queen of the Dance, second off the claim for Frock. It's a 20% move of late with a positive ROI. I like the outside to inside move. Was part of that early flow, making one of the first moves, 22-3-47 flat. That just kind of took the run out of Queen of the Dance the last 3/16 of a mile. She figures very well from the inside here for the Frock Barn. Video spotlight, the 5.2 here for race 5. I think she might have been our spotlight last time she ran as well in the morning show. She finds trouble again, a little bit of a trouble, a steady coming here to the half-mile pole. Down inside of horses, and you really can't fault the rider. Able to get down inside saving ground from that outer post. The things got a little bit clogged up here going into the far turn. 5.2, and jockey Jerome Barbosa just going to have to tap the brakes as things go on up front. Believe in Freedom, a little better run. And watch this kind of working its way through a little traffic here. The last 3/16 of a mile, dives inside, makes one final lunge. Tears were shed upstairs in the press box, just getting beat by a nose. But 5.2 has really taken back to the turf. And the Henry Walters barn, pay attention. They've been doing really good work of late. Horses are running for this barn. I'm going to use 5.2. Going to need some help off the pace, but I think we've got some speed signed up here. Lady Mosler, she can go, but she can sit as well here for Damon Dilladovico. I'm going to throw her into the mix underneath, sing along another one that needs help. But Romantic Story, speed. Queen of the Dance will be close. Arrogant Stream likes to be close. I'm looking for somebody from a little bit off the pace here, and hopefully we can get it in a price with this 4-horse. She's all a Twitter, but I will be spreading around in race number 5. That's a look at the first 5. A little commercial break. We'll take a look at the late pick 4 when we get back. All right, glad you're here with us for the morning show today at the races. Callie Francois out of town this week. You've got me flying solo today. We might find somebody tomorrow to join along and kind of banter back and forth. But let's focus now on race number 6 on today's Friday card at Laurel. 7/8 on the main track. Fillies and Mares, a little starter. Jackpot Super High 5. Yeah, 56.92 in the pot. It's a little bit of a challenging race. Scratch the 5. Terrace Talent was going to be a user for me, but I go inside the Bourbon Wildcat. Reunited with Geron Barbosa. Really a knockout kind of a race. 2 races back. We liked her that day at 9-2. Broke a step slow. Was able to kind of accelerate 5 wide. I'm thinking she's not going to have anything left around the turn. No, she just kicked away. Drew off similar condition by 6. Good number. Real big number. And came back, I think, just a little bit too quick for a barn that's really doing well right now. Jose Magana barn batting around 25-26% at this Laurel meet. 5 Dreams ran really big the other day in the sprint stakes. So I'm going to go Bourbon Wildcat because there's not a lot of speed in here. I think she's going to be able to get position. Her target might be the 6 horse here. First off the claim, Joya Del Sur for Kieran McGee. He's just, year in and year out, that whole McGee team. And the fillies and mares, they seem to do a great job with stepping them up. First off the claim, didn't have to win a shake last time, transitioning turf to dirt. That's a good move year in and year out for this barn. She speeds 7/8 of a mile. Looking to the horses to her outside, not a lot. I think she's going to be able to go. Sultry Sally H possible. The Haunted Room has been sent before, but I don't know if anybody's quite as fast as Joy Del Sur, but she's going to have to shake clear. I do think Bourbon Wildcat's going to be able to kind of keep her close and in range, maybe get to her mid-turn, and we'll see what develops from there. But I'm going to give a slight edge to Bourbon Wildcat in race number 6. Stop the Cat, yes, going to need a little help, but holding pretty good form. Beaten 6 by Bourbon Wildcat, so she's got a little bit of work to do in here, but would not surprise me in the least if she hits the board. Our Liberty Bell, you know, going for the tag here, a little bit of a drop down to 20. She likes Laurel Park. I think she reeled off a couple races in a row here last summer. Doesn't have the biggest turn of early foot. She's kind of a grinding style of runner. That could work here in today's 6th race. Let's look at the 7th. Kicks off the late pick 3. Back to the turf course, 5.5 sprint. Another interesting race. 4 horses out of the July 7th sprint race, other than. Scratch the 7, Bondiva in here, re-entered. Let's go right to the video spotlight if we could. Wonder Girl, Sweeter Than Whiskey, Lily Simone, Lady Serenity, all out of this race on July the 7th at Laurel Park. A little trouble here, into the turn. You're going to see the 1 and the 4. Lily Simone, Wonder Girl back today, both. Check a little bit, steady a little bit. Wonder Girl, you could say, probably maybe got the worst of it. She kind of gives up a length and a half into the turn. Lily Simone was able to recover. She's going to kind of work in between horses here past the 5/16. And then Lily Simone in the red has a little seam kind of close up here, right there. Shine on Moon had to alter out for a little bit of running room. Cost her at least a half a length, I think. Back over to the left lead. Couple lead switches for her, and then you're going to see Wonder Girl also finish with interest. I thought Lady Serenity held on quite well. She gets an assist today with a scratch of Bondiva, who I thought was going to be a main speed threat in here. Don't be surprised if this 8 takes him a long, long way here for Salzman Jr. J-Rod is going to be able to kind of go ahead and go, I believe, from this outer post. Sweeter Than Whiskey out of that race. Might have been a little bit too close. You're going to get Angel Cruz today, no Alexander Crispin. This one I think is going to work an inside-out trip. 6-4-8-1 for me in race 7. Turning to the 8th race, late daily double time. 2 other than a mile and a 16th for the 3-year-olds and up. The boys, this is a good one. This is a good one. I'm going to go to my old buddy, Armando R. Let's go right to the video spotlight because I think there's going to be enough flow. Going to be interesting to see, too, what Ness tells his jockeys because both like to be forward. I don't think they want to get involved in a duel, but Armando R., a winner, 4 races back at a mile and 16th distance. This is a 2-back try. Search engine was able to kind of control things that day. I don't know if he's going to have it as easy on the front end this afternoon with the likes of What Does It Take. Tops the chart. Also here for Ferris Allen, I think is going to show a little bit more speed than what he did down at Colonial, back on a track that he's run some good races. Armando R., you got a Rojo today. Yes, Caramano's down the road, but you just sit, chilly, and this guy will tell you when he wants to pick it up. You put him to the ride, it looks like, or out the 3/8 pole. I think he's going to get enough flow today to get by and eke by late. It's going to be at the wire if he gets it done. Your analysis, another one has run well over this Laurel main track, and I think that's going to be the key. A really good effort up at Monmouth Park. 2 races back at Laurel, really hampered by those internals, 24-3, 48-2. A walk of the dog there for Brilliant Ice, who's holding good form and got it done. I think he came back to run a good second, so he's become a key horse at this level. The 3-back try at Delaware, not too bad. 3 wide, 5 wide. Torrey Alba should be able to sit closer to the inside along with Freitland. I'm going to toss Freitland's race at Delaware. A couple big numbers at Laurel, and they still protect this guy. You could have had him for 25 a few races back. Nope. Now they've got this one protected after that win. Throw out the Delaware race. Yes, he works in a mile and a 16th inside-out trip because I do think things will converge with these speeds around the 3/8 to the quarter pole between the 3, 4, and 6. 28 minutes to post. Let's get rolling here to the 9th. Maidens on the grass. These are the fillies and mares, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Scratch the 1. Full of Shenanigans. I was going to use this one. I like the breeding. We're going to scratch the 1. Full of Shenanigans. Was going to be a little bit of a price as well. We're going to center on the outside with Magnolia Win. Magnolia Win 0 for 13. Did cross the wire first last fall at Laurel Park. Unfortunately, victim of a little bit of a drifting. Got DQ'd for that. I thought the last race was pretty good at Delaware Park there. This is a barn. Bernie Dunham, when he comes in with these turfers, he's good. 3 for 15 at Laurel the last 3 years, 9 for 15 in the money with a 296 ROI. Last time out at Delaware, a little bit of a step slow out of the gate, had to kind of roll up between, then had to tap the brakes before then settling, making the move, getting the lead, and then run down the last eighth of a mile. But I thought continued willingly. Not a lot of proven speed in here. Maybe go Wally Go with the blinkers on. We'll go ahead and show it. But I think Magnolia Win. I like the draw outside to go ahead and go to the front, be forward, and go a long way at a shorter price. TC Nay, the 7. Yes, I like this one, turning back in distance into some pretty quick internals last time out. Time to run. This horse should be sitting in a very good trip, top of the stretch, and ready to pounce with Alberto Delgado. Ginger's race day, another one. 2 good starts, back to the turf today. Very capable late run. I think will be a presence in your exactas, tries, and superfecta. That's a look at these 9 races, I should say, on today's card at Laurel Park. Couple value plays. We'll go back over those real quick. Race 1, I should say race 1. Value play number 1 in race number 5, the 4. She's all a Twitter. Coming in from Parks, Bobby Hawthorne doesn't run a lot of horses here. Didn't beat the most stellar of fields last time out when breaking its maiden, but that was the turf debut for this filly. A 3-year-old, every right, has only raced 5 times. A little extra 16th of a mile is not going to hurt. I think she's going to be able to draft into a very good position due to all the speed. I think you're going to see 3 or 4 horses go into the first turn. Let her relax and make her run. At that kind of price, I'm not going to leave her out. Value play number 2, race 7, the 6. Gift of Gab. I didn't even get to Gift of Gab when I was talking about race 7. My apologies, Sustantis, but Gift of Gab, confidence booster, a really good race at Penn National last time. Yeah, it wasn't, the strongest of fields, but I like the way she did it. She's got good races here in Maryland, 5.5. The extra, the long stretch might be just a touch too much, but that form and that race last time out, I think is going to put her right there. She'll get to jumps on some of the speed. She might be the one sitting just off of Lady Serenity of Salzman and make that move and kind of grind it out. She worked outside in and then back out at Penn to get it done. Very capable barn. When they win in bunches. She's done it with a couple horses recently. Back-to-back winners. Would not be a surprise today with Gift of Gab. So glad everybody could join us here today for Today at the Races. 25 minutes until post time. Mackenzie Pfeiffer will be here with you this afternoon, but we go up to Dave Rodman with some scratches and changes.